good morning and welcome. I'm super glad you guys are with me today. Nice to see my Pilates peeps. Best way to start the Monday ever. Let's warm up the body, coming into some Pilates prancing. If that's new for you, come on to all 10 tippy toes, lower one heel, bend an elbow. You choose which, and switch and switch and continue. All right, guys, this simple move will begin to warm up the body. And I'd like to take this opportunity to request of you to keep your workout with me today pain-free. It is super important to me that every student feels better after every class, and I need your help with that. So at any time, if I am cueing for you to do a move which is causing your body pain, please don't do it and do something different so that you are working in a pain-free range of motion. A little bit of muscular pain is all right, like holy cow, there's a muscle, it's working. That's all good. But structural pain is not good. So any joint pain, back pain, shooting pain, just stop what you're doing and do something else. So modifications are a-okay and encouraged in my class if that's going to make you feel better after class. And you will see that I also modify. Whoa, my heart rate is coming up for 3 and 2 and 1 and come to center. All right, guys, then let's reach those arms straight out in front. Bring one knee into tabletop. Reach those arms back. Bring that tabletop leg back behind you and forward and back and continue. You are breathing. All right, coming into a balanced challenge. Whoop, and breathing. Looking good, guys. So my live students who are with me today, good morning. Nice to see you guys. Glad you're with me. My YouTube students who are with me today, good morning. I hope it's nice to see me. And I'm glad you're with me. All right, for 3 and 2 and 1, come to center. Swing those arms from side to side. Taking a move I call Lady in a Park. It's just a really nice reset. For 2 and 1 and come to center. All right, other leg, tabletop, arms in front, back, front, and continue. Yeah, looking good, guys. Loving the balance challenges. So we begin to lose our balance at the age of 30, which is horrifying. But the good news is it comes back pretty quickly when we practice. Woo! For 3, yeah, looking so good. Feeling a little sketchy. And 2 and 1. Come back to center. Swing those arms from side to side. For 2 and 1. All right, guys, we are going to add on. So let's come back to that first leg. Reach those arms forward. This time, let's kick that leg forward. Come back to tabletop. And then come back. Kick that leg straight. And come back to the bent 90-degree angle. And continue. Yep. Breathing. Looking good. By the way, when you reach those arms forward and kick that leg forward, notice how you're really feeling the front of the body. You're feeling what? You're feeling the thigh muscles and the biceps muscles. For 2 and 1 and come to center. Swing those arms from side to side and notice how your body feels a little lopsided. So we'll fix that. For 2 woo, and 1 and come back to center. All right, guys, next, you guessed it, let's bring the other knee into tabletop, arms in front, kick that leg long, sweep it back, kick that leg long, sweep it forward, yeah, and continue. All right, and then notice how just as we feel the front of the body when we're doing the work in front of us, we're also feeling the back of the body when we do the work behind us. That's interesting to note. By the way, if you lift those arms higher up to the ceiling, you will feel this more in the triceps and the back than if you keep those arms lower in space. Yeah, looking good, guys. Loving what I'm seeing. For 3 and 2. Whoop. And, Catherine, I saw that. That was like a sympathy, loss of balance. And 1, and come back to center. Swing those arms from side to side. You know, they did a study, and apparently, you know how people yawn when they see somebody else yawning? If they don't do that, it's likely they're, I think, a psychopath or something. So that was a sympathy, loss of balance. So clearly you're not a psychopath. So, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying sometimes. All right, let's open those arms to a T and switch. A nicer way to say that is that you're empathetic. I do always try to speak in the positive instead of the negative. Yeah, so that wasn't, yeah, okay. Anyways, moving on, breathing. And notice now how you're feeling the sides of your bodies, right? Moving in a different plane of motion, feeling the sides of the bodies. It's just kind of interesting to notice all these things. I know it's kind of like the grass growing. We don't think much about it, but when we do and break it down, it's really quite remarkable. And I feel like the same thing is true with our bodies. By the way, as we open to a T, we're just opening to a T. If those arms go higher than the shoulders with those palms down, that is not great for the shoulders. For 2 and 1, and pause. Swing those arms from side to side. Loving the dogs I'm seeing on my screen. For 2 and 1. All right, guys, then let's bend those elbows into a biceps curl, arms at a 90-degree angle. And then let's open and continue. And breathe. It is warming up here at Coretown Pilates in South Orange County, and off comes the jacket. All right. And breathing. Yep. And notice if you're shifting from side to side, this is super easy, not a lot of work here, but if I try to stabilize what's going on and try to prevent shifting from side to side and slow my movement down and pretend like it's super hard, it becomes harder. Yeah, and just notice that. For 3, 2, and 1, and pause. Swing those arms from side to side. For 2 and 1. All right, guys, without further ado, let's reach those arms into tabletop, reach those arms overhead, and switch, moving through space quickly. Yeah, coming into a little cardio blast. So you can do whatever cardio you want. You can disco dance. You can be silly. You can be like a toddler and shake the wiggles out. You can do jumping jacks. Heck, you can do cartwheels. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, and suddenly I'm talking to a blank screen. All my students are off. They frequently like to run the stairs. Oh, there's someone running through my screen. It's so cute. It's like empty screen and then bleep, and then bleep. See if the dog is following her as she does that. I love it. Okay, guys, so coming into this little cardio blast, the reason that I started it with marching, reaching those arms overhead, is because if a bouncy thing doesn't work for you, that's okay. You don't need to do a bouncy thing to feel, yeah, the dog is following her. She's running back and forth. But you do not need to do a cardio thing, or a bouncy thing rather, to get that heart rate up, because this is moving the major muscle groups of the body, and it is moving, oh, I'm definitely in that cardio zone. It is also moving the arms overhead, which when we do that, it lends to having the heart work harder because it has to pump blood to those upper extremities. And breathing, loving it. So we've been going for nearly 2 minutes, and we'll go for 1 more minute. I feel like a little jazz dancer or something. I love it. One of my students, she's not here today, but every time she does her cardio, she's from New England. She's in New Hampshire right now, but she always reminds me of someone like at a, I don't know, like a resort in the 50s on Martha's Vineyard or something, doing that 50s type dancing. It's really cute. Woo! Okay, so if it's a little hard to talk, that's a really terrific fat burning cardio zone. Yep, loving what I'm seeing. And breathing. Yep, so good. All right, guys, so we've got just about 20 more seconds. I'm going to come into triceps presses, breathing. You know, when my kid was little, when he was younger, he's now 16 and taller than I am. Well, he's going to be 16 in 2 weeks. But I used to hold his ankles and have him hanging, and I would do triceps presses with him. It was pretty fun. All right, for 2 and 1. Woo! Good job, guys. And swing those arms from side to side. For 2 and 1. All right, guys, let's set one of the dumbbells down and then hold one dumbbell in front of you. Okay, oh, and she's back. Hey, good to see you. Let's reach those arms in front. Take your left leg, kick it back. I'm actually going to modify and do this without any dumbbells, but if it feels okay, you can use one dumbbell or get rid of it at any time. We're going to lean forward, reach those arms forward. I am further going to modify and keep my hands behind me and do it again. Lifting and lowering for 3 and 2. The next time you're lifted, stay lifted. All right, let's pivot those rear toes down. I want that movement to come from the head of the femur and the hip socket, and then bend and straighten and do it again. Again, targeting that back body, guys. Ooh, and breathe. All right, so those arms can be wherever you want. If you want to have one arm out, you can. If you want both arms out, you can. If you want both arms out with a dumbbell, you can. If that's uncomfortable and you want to move your arms through space, you can come into a triceps extension. And notice how the leg moving through space, you're feeling all those muscles, but also notice how you're feeling all those muscles in the standing leg. Quite a bit for me. All right, guys. If you have a dumbbell, just go ahead and drop it. Make sure it doesn't land on your toe. And then let's reach the opposite arm forward. Maybe grab onto that back foot. And then maybe kick that foot into the hand, reaching those arms forward. If that is not available to you, you guys, that is totally okay. So you can continue with the earlier version or anything else that feels good for you. Woo! And breathe again. Oh my gosh, these muscles in that standing leg. Oh, for 4 and 3. Woo, did I mention? Woo, 2 and 1. Gracefully or not, come to a standing position. Oh, well done, guys. Swing those arms from side to side. Oh, for 2 and 1. All right, just FYI, you do not need to balance it out. So if you, for your arm movement on the other leg, so if you had your dumbbell before and that wasn't feeling great for you, just omit the dumbbell or come into a different arm movement. But we will balance it out on the lower body. So the leg that's all tired from standing on it, let's take that leg out behind us. And again, your arms can be wherever feels good for you. Pivot those rear toes down and then bend and straighten. Okay, I'm going to do this a little more upright. Some of you know I have a back that talks to me, and I don't want it talking to me more than it is. All right, so goes to show you, modify, modify, modify as needed. The cost benefit analysis to working through pain does not pan out. All right, for 3 and 2 and 1 and pause, and then let's lower and lift and lower and lift and continue. Yep, and breathing. Arms can be, woo, again, wherever you want for them to be. Woo. Yeah, again, I'm going to decrease my range of motion. In fact, I think I'm going to stand straight. You guys look awesome. Love what I'm seeing. For 3, actually, I'm going to stop entirely. You guys look awesome. And 2, loving it. And 1, and come back to center. Swing those arms from side to side. For 2 and 1. Okay, guys, then if you have a dumbbell or dumbbells in hand, set them to the side. Let's reach those fingertips behind us. If it's available to you, I want you to lace those fingertips and even bring those palms together. If that's not available to you, that is okay. Then I just want you to pretend like you're squishing a beach ball behind you. You'll get the same benefit. All right. Then shoulders down and back. Use this as leverage, guys, to really pull those shoulders back. And even if you don't have your fingertips laced, you can still do this just by pressing that imaginary beach ball together. All right. And then if those fingertips are laced behind you or not, let me say that differently. And then take one leg, kick it back behind, and maybe lean forward, lifting those arms in space and hold. Maybe make your torso and your leg parallel to the mat or not. Remember, any modification is fine. So you are welcome to keep that back foot on the ground if that is better for you today. Ooh, for 3, 2, and 1. Oh, come to center. Good. And then let's release that arm movement. Ooh, bring those shoulders up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. And notice how these little muscles right in here, guys, feel a little bit stretched. That's our goal. Well, we have many goals with this move. We're checking a lot of boxes with this move, by the way. But part of it, big important part, is stretching out these muscles. All right, let's come back into the hands behind us. If you have your hands laced together, go ahead and choose a different grasp. So in other words, just change the position of your bent fingers behind you. Might feel a little awkward, like brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Yeah, definitely feels awkward. Reach those arms back behind. And then let's take the other leg, kick it back behind. And you guessed it, kick that leg out, coming forward with that torso, and breathe. Woo! Taking that heart opening, balance challenge. Looking good. Balance for 4 and 3, lifting those arms as high as is comfortable. 2 and 1, and slowly come back to center. Swing those arms from side to side. Okay. Then let's place those fingertips onto the shoulders, and we'll imagine that we're paddling forwards. So this feels really good. And we're going to do this going the opposite way too. And I just want to point out that anytime you do this, and I encourage you to do this throughout the day, we always want to end on the back note. Okay, because if we end on this note, we're going to end like this. I'm exaggerating, and we don't want to do that. Okay, pause, and then let's reverse. This is a really simple move, guys. And I used to be a personal trainer working in the gym with big buff guys. That was kind of my jam. It was super fun. But it was also about 2 decades ago. But at any rate, what I want to point out is that we used to shuffle some pretty heavy weights around. And this is a really terrific, unweighted way to define the shoulders and also to get that mobility. All right, guys. And then the next time those arms are behind you before you come forward, release. Okay, so notice how when we stop in that position, how we end up with this posture that we're trying to accentuate. Okay, well done, guys. From here, let's come down to the mat. Have those dumbbells nearby. Okay, we will start today. Let's start kneeling. Yeah, so let's come to a kneeling position. And reach those arms into goalpost. Okay, if a kneeling position doesn't work for you, you can either do the standing or sitting and just do the arm portion. All right, guys, from here, let's reach those arms overhead, open into goalpost, do it again. Notice my loose grasp on the dumbbells. If I'm grabbing really tight, I'm kicking the work out of what I want to focus on and bringing so we just don't want to invite that in. So keeping that loose grasp. Okay. And then we're going to add on, guys. And I always find this kind of challenging. Maybe you will too. I think it partly depends on one's anatomy. Okay, as you reach one arm forward, let's step 1 foot forward. As you lower those elbows, let's sweep that foot back. And do it again, switching sides. And then ideally, we're not dragging the foot, although that is not so available to me. Maybe it is to you. And breathe. All right, we're going to add on, as you may have guessed. Okay, if you want to continue with this, that's totally an option. If you want more, the next time you have a foot out, pause, tuck those rear toes, and come up to standing. Reach those arms in front of you, lower down, and then let's slide that foot back. Slide the other foot forward, tuck that back toe. And come back to center. And do it again. I feel like I changed my arm movement, but that's okay. Whoa, really feeling those shoulders quite a bit after those fingertips on the shoulders that we did. Woo, breathing, yeah, loving what I'm seeing. Oh, I've always had a goal to be able to do this type of activity and not drag my feet. And never been quite successful. Woo. And breathe. For 3. And 2. Woo. All right, guys. Next time you are up, pause. Good. And then let's drop the arms down to the sides, keeping your front knee behind those front toes. That's super important. Let's bend both legs. Lower and lift, lower and lift. By the way, if you are standing and it's okay for your, because kneeling is not so great for your knees. I'm feeling this a lot. You are welcome to come into to join us if this type of movement is agreeable for your knees. Woo! For 4 and 3. Okay, adding on, and 2. And the next time you're down, lower and lift, lower and lift. Okay, I don't want a bouncy thing. That would be too easy. I want it hard to lower, hard to lift, hard to lower. Woo. Woo. By the way, these weighted dumbbells, they're just adding weight. So even though we're not moving our arms, these dumbbells at our sides are providing a function. Oh my gosh, for 3 and 2 and 1, and come all the way down. All right, what we do on one side, we do on the other side. So let's reach that opposite forward, tuck those rear toes, come up to standing, and lower and lift. Again, this time we'll come into this arm movement. Again, woo, I can't even talk. What I'm trying to say is we're keeping the front knee behind those toes. Holy cow. Again, so this is cardio, guys. Woo, looking good for 3, loving it. You guys look amazing. And 2, you guys are so strong. Okay, and 1, arms down to the side. Remember what comes next? We're going to lower and lift, lower and lift. By the way, ideally, these feet are parallel, kind of like you are on railroad tracks. So in other words, all 10 toes are pointed forward. Woo! Yeah. Keeping that movement tiny. Oh, you guys, we might be feeling this tomorrow. Woo! I'll be feeling your pain. For 4, we're getting those super awesome defined legs though. And 3, 2, woo, and 1. Let's come all the way down. Holy cow, guys. Let's set those dumbbells down to the side. Take those fingertips and reach them back behind, palms facing each other, and then press those hips forward and lean back in space. Okay, now that head, I want it in line with your spine so it's not dangling back behind you, okay? So that's important. Okay, and then let's come forward and do it again. All right, guys, so the movement here is actually the only joint moving are your knees, okay? So you're moving as a straight line, which is different than bringing the booty back behind you. So it's like we're pressing those hips forward the whole time. Again, lots of quadriceps here. Woo! All right. If you want more, the next time you're back, stay back. Reach that right arm up to the ceiling. Lower it. Reach that left arm up to the ceiling. Lower it. Come back to center. Whew. Press those hips forward. Squeeze those booty cheeks. Lower back. Take that left arm overhead. Bring it down. Right arm overhead. Bring it down and come back up. All right. If you want more, lean back. Both arms overhead. Both arms down to the hips. And come forward and do it again. Yeah, so any modification or variation is fine. Woo! Breathing. So I am a certified stand-up paddleboard instructor. And frequently, I'm not teaching so much anymore, but I used to do that. That was my jam. And in fact, my husband and I, we had a little setup at Crystal Cove in Laguna Beach. Super fun. But at any rate, what I wanted to share with you is a lot of times before people came up to their feet, they would come to their knees. And then if you can imagine doing this type of an activity with an unstable surface that your knees are on, it would really target the quadriceps. And people would be like, oh my God, my quadriceps feel like jelly. I'm like, yeah. So we're simulating that. So if you want to feel like you're visualize yourself on a paddleboard in Laguna Beach, go ahead. Oh, for 4, maybe some seals and dolphins floating by, whales. And 3, one time there was this girl and she was a little bit scared to go out. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's whales out there. Isn't that exciting? And she's like, I'm terrified of whales. I have a phobia. I was like, oh, that didn't work out well. Okay, give me one more. This time when you're back, stay back, optional. You can take a rest at any time. Pivot those palms forward. Open, close, open, close. Pretend you're on that paddleboard and you've got a friend nearby and you want to say, hey, check it out. There's a pod of dolphins. Woo! Yeah, we saw a lot of dolphins out there. We actually saw a pod surrounding a mom giving birth to a dolphin. Like, what are the chances of that? It was pretty remarkable. For 3, woo, 2, woo, and 1. Oh my gosh, I came out of that way not gracefully. Good job, guys. I know you're feeling that. I'm feeling it too. Let's balance out all that extension with a different move. This is core strengthening. It's also active rest. Oh my gosh, you guys. Let's take those hands and place them under the shoulders, coming into an all-four position. Kick your left leg out behind. Reach that right arm forward. And then try to create as much space and length as you can between those fingertips and that back heel. Oh, now I can see all my students. I think some of your cameras were a little bit low. So nice to see y'all. All right, you are breathing. Woo! For 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. Separate those knees. And then reach that booty back towards the heels. I'm not going to do this, but for you, it probably feels amazing to bring that booty all the way back towards the heels and then walk those hands as far forward as possible, bringing your chest and your forehead down to the mat. And just enjoy that. Oh man, you guys, it feels like it's getting so hot. It was a little cool this morning. Not anymore. Woo, for 3, and 2. And 1, come back to all fours. And then this time, guys, let's see. Oh, bad Pilates instructor moment. I forget which leg and arm we were on. Yeah, so let's reach that right arm forward, kick that left leg. No, sorry. Reach that right leg. Let's switch sides. That's a Pilates instructor's secret. When they can't remember which side they're on, let's switch sides. Sorry, guys. And breathe and hold. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had the right leg behind because I think I was looking at my ring. Woo! I got so excited thinking about those dolphins. Ah, that's an example of me not being present. All right, for 3, and 2, and 1. Come back to center. Let's separate those knees again. Reach that booty back. Walk those hands forward and take that stretch. So the reason I just mentioned that that's an example of me not being present is because anytime we notice that, guys, we just need to pivot it and become present. So a huge part of Pilates is that mind-body connection. So we don't want to be thinking about dolphins, even though it's super fun, or our shopping list, or that we need to drop the kids off, or anything else. That meeting coming up, we really want to take this opportunity to focus on our body, giving us that mind-body connection. Ooh, all right, guys. For 3 and 2 and 1. Let's come back to that kneeling position. All right. Press those hips forward. And then we're going to lean back, reach those arms overhead, and come up and do it again. Any modification is fine. Remember, if you have your hands closer to your body, it's going to be less challenging. All right, for 3 and 2. Okay, and the next time you're up, stay up. Take that right hand down towards the right heel. Look over your right shoulder. Maybe see your fingertips on your heel. And pause. Your fingertips can be touching your heel if that's available to you. For 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. And then take that left hand down to the left heel. Maybe look down towards those left fingertips. Woo! And breathe. For 3, 2, and come back to center. And then we'll move through this more quickly. And switch, and switch, and continue. You are breathing, hollowing out that belly, navel tucked to the spine. Oh, I feel like I should wave it to you guys. Hi. Oh, just your friendly Pilates instructor here. And breathe. Oh, for 3. Oh, did I mention? And 2, woo, and 1, and come to center. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna, in the title, I'm gonna put lots of kneeling in this. So we're just gonna go with the kneeling thing. Let's separate those knees. I think both of you are pretty good with kneeling. All right, and then let's bring the tush down. Let's nestle that tush between those heels. All right, and then let's reach those hands behind. Okay, you can do the standing, by the way, too. I just said we're going to go with the kneeling, but you can do the standing. Take an inhale, exhale, lift those hips. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift, and continue. So how do you do the standing? You just press your hips forward. You can take your hands and place them behind your waist and use that for support, and just come into a heart opening. Ooh, if this position is agreeable to you, notice how you're also getting a really nice stretch in those quadriceps. And that's one of my goals. Also notice how you're getting a really terrific workout in your triceps. That's another one of my goals. Also notice how you're feeling that fabulous heart opening sensation. That's also one of my goals. Woo, for 4 and 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then, guys, let's take both heels, shift them to the left, and come to a seated position, and position your legs such that they are like half a square. Okay? A tricky maneuver, but yeah, looking good. All right, guys, then let's take one, we'll do both sides. So let's take one hand, put it down onto the ground, and lean to the side. So my goal here is to feel a lot of length and space between these bones and muscles on the side of your body, while these bones and muscles come a little closer together. By the way, if you're like all up near that ear, go ahead and drop it. Woo, for 3 and 2 and 1, and come to center, and then place your hand over on the other side of your body. Reach the other arm up and lean to the other side. So my range of motion, I'm actually not even going to do that, but for most people that feels really good, so just enjoy that. For 3 and 2, looking good, both of you. Love it. And 1, and come back to center. Okay, guys, let's place those hands behind us and kick those legs out in front of us. Okay, then reach those arms up overhead. I'm not doing this. Lean forward, bringing those fingertips towards the toes. So I'm interested in a really nice stretch here, guys. If it feels good, you're doing it correctly. Loving it. By the way, we don't bounce when we stretch. Depending on your age group, you might remember 7th grade PE where we bounce. We don't do that anymore. Research shows that's not great for the muscles. So just a long, sustained stretch. For 2, and 1, and roll back up to a seated position. Okay, next, let's place those hands onto the ground behind you. I'm coming onto gorilla fists. If your wrists are talking to you, just come right back into that forward fold stretch. If this feels okay for you, take an inhale as you exhale. Let's lift those hips and breathe. Again, so we're not dangling our head back in space. We don't have wrinkles in the neck, either in the front or the back, so our head is in a somewhat neutral position. Maybe take that right foot, hover it in space. Lower, left foot, hover it in space. Lower, and continue alternating if you wish. If you don't wish, that's okay. I do not wish, so I am not doing that, but you might be. All right, guys, let's everyone come back to center. Dip your left hip, dip your right hip, and continue. By the way, of course, you can come down anytime if this is bothering your wrists. Remember, I need you to work with me. I want you to feel better after class, not worse. For 3, and 2, and 1, lower down. Well done. Okay, and then reach those fingertips forward towards the toes, coming back into that yummy forward fold stretch. Yeah, and just enjoy. For 3, and 2, and 1. Come back up to center. Well done, guys. And then let's take those legs. We're going to put them back into that half a square position to the right. Or on the other side. Okay, let's place the hand down to the side. Reach that arm up and over. Again, notice if that ear and shoulder are getting cozy, and if so, prevent that from happening. Imagine you're wearing Marilyn Monroe, super long, beautiful, dangly earrings, and you, I don't know, you put baby oil on your shoulders, and you don't want to muck up your jewels. I've never used that cue before. That's a good one. All right, at any rate, lots of space between those ears and shoulders. For 3, and 2, and 1, come back to center. All right, guys, and then let's do that to the other side, which I'm not going to do, but you probably are. Yeah, you are, and it feels really good. By the way, I feel this stretch pretty intensely, just upright with my arm lifted. In fact, so much I'm going to omit it. Oh, boy, you guys, I am so glad to be working out with you again. I missed you guys, and I missed working out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I think I took 10 days off just recovering from a back injury. All right, for 2, and 1, and come back to center. Well done, guys. Then let's pivot back to those hands and knees. By the way, elbows are totally an option. Then we're going to come into a plank in 4, 3, 2. All right. Let's step back into that plank position. Navel tucked to the spine, shoulders down and back. There are a couple of things I want you to be really mindful of. 1 is your waist is not sagging low. 2, the space between your shoulders is not sagging low. Oh, I'll just keep going. 3, if your wrists are bothering you, you're on your elbows. 4, if you're on your hands, if you press into your thumb and your forefinger, it will lessen the pressure on your wrists. 5, I could go on and on. 5, let's see, what was 5? Oh yeah, if you use your breath to help you, exhaling loudly like you're blowing out birthday candles, it will automatically recruit all those muscles around your core, around your spine, keeping it stable. 6, if you're wondering how long we've been holding this, The answer is 1 minute, 7. If you're wondering how much longer we're going to hold it, the answer is 20 seconds. All right. So currently you are at 1 minute and 15. Woo! You can put a knee down at any time, guys. Woo! Did I mention? Woo! Breathing, you guys are so strong. Oh, I'm shaking for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Well done, guys. Both knees down. Let's drop that belly down towards the ground. Stick that booty out behind you. Woo! Energetically press the palms of your hands down near your wrist towards your knees. Use that as leverage to grow your spine a little bit longer. All right. And then release that. Imagine that someone is pulling on your belt and the back of your bra strap up towards the ceiling like you're a scared cat at Halloween, looking down gently towards those knees. If you are watching me, I'm not doing it, but you guys are. It probably feels really good. Yeah. And then, guys, let's drop that belly button back down, sticking that booty out behind you, and then just begin to move through those 2 positions in a manner that feels good for you, using your breath to guide you. Woo! Looking good for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. All right, guys. And then in just about, I'm giving you a little bit of a rest. In 5 seconds, we're going back into a plank. So if you want to come to your elbows, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, step 1 foot back, step the other foot back, and breathe. This time, let's do hip ticks. Lower your left hip, come to center. Lower your right hip, come to center. If that doesn't feel good to you, you can omit it. Whoo! Breathing. Okay, guys, we're going to change this up just a little bit. By the way, we're at 22, in case you were wondering. At 30, we'll switch this up. Okay, the next time, let's pivot both heels to the left. And then maybe take that left arm up to the ceiling, coming into a side plank. Maybe lift that top leg or not. Woo, shaking going on over here at Coretown Pilates and Rancho Mission Viejo. Woo. Yep. And we're going to hold just for a moment longer. Not really. Okay. And then come back to center. And then, guys, let's switch to the other side. So pivot those toes to the other side, reaching that arm up to the ceiling, maybe taking that top leg and lifting it, maybe not. Woo! All right, guys, we've got, let's see, just about 7 more seconds, but who's counting? That would be me. Raise your hand if you're counting. No, I'm kidding. All right, for 2. Woo! Okay, final challenge here, guys, back to center. And we are going to go for 30 more seconds. And I would prefer for you to come down at any time and take a break and go back up when you're ready, then to have core form. Woo, and breathe. So I need to challenge my super advanced students who have been with me since the beginning of COVID. But if you're new to me, please take care of yourself and just take a break whenever you need. Woo, for 2. And 1, lower those knees down. Well done, guys. Separate those knees. Walk those hands forward, coming back into that forward fold stretch. And just enjoy that. By the way, I've mentioned, but I'm at Coretown Pilates in Rancho Mission Viejo, and there's a class in the main room, which is ending. So if you hear a little bit of activity going on in the background, they are leaving the studio. Okay, for 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, come back to center, come to a kneeling position, and then let's lace those fingertips behind the head. Okay, you can use your hands, of course, at any time. Let's take your left foot, slide it forward, tuck those right toes behind you, come up, come down, And then let's sweep that left leg behind you. Then you guessed it. Take that right leg, kick it forward, bit of a balance challenge. Tuck those rear toes and come up. And then this time step all the way forward. Woo. Well done, guys. Swing those arms from side to side. I feel like this class flew by. For 2, looking awesome. And 1, come to center. Let's take the right hand, place it on your right thigh. Take that left arm up to the ceiling. Lean over to the right. Drop that shoulder. Remember, you've got those long, sparkly, dangly earrings on. Okay, this is shrinking. This is expanding. Notice how there's a lot of space between this bottom rib and your hip bone. Oh, we're going to come back to that in just a moment. For 3 and 2 and 1, come to center. Other arm up. We're going to shrink the space now on this side, expanding the length on this side. Woo. For 3 and 2 and 1, and come to center. Good. And then let's take both hands, place them back behind us again. Reach those arms behind, coming into that final stretch for these muscles right here. We really want to lengthen those muscles. Notice how in doing this, there's a lot of space between the bottom rib and the hip bone. For 2 and 1, and release. Reach those arms overhead, curl those fingertips over, tuck the chin to the chest, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae like you're diving over a big beach ball. Yeah, looking good. Hang for a moment, and then softness in the knees. Head is heavy. Roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, coming all the way up to the top. You guys look amazing. When you get to the top, bring those shoulders up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. One more time, up, back, and down. Remember how we always end in that position. Notice how there's space between your bottom rib and your hip. I want you to think about that as you go throughout your day. And if you notice that you're rounding forward, create as much space as you can, and you'll have that awesome posture. Yeah, really nice job today. We did cardio, we stretched, we balanced, worked every muscle. You guys did an awesome job. Thanks so much for joining me.